Gail Nolan. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer with Invest Puerto Rico. And my background in the practice of economic development is really tech-led economic development, economic disaster recovery, and global competitiveness. My specific job in Puerto Rico, so it kind of ties it all together, is economic product development. So looking at the island of Puerto Rico and how can we make it a better environment for companies so that they can have greater success through our support. And we do that by enhancing the assets and the infrastructure. And so I always qualify in our discussions, I'm not particularly tech savvy, but I do recognize the critical importance of technology and technology access in regions so that they can engage in some of what we call the new economy structures for economic development. And, I think it's important for everybody on this call to understand that a lot of local leaders don't really understand technology well. And so it's hard for them to support that kind of infrastructure and technology innovation if they don't understand, what the basic value of that is. And I sometimes give the example that I was with a colleague once who we were talking about AI, and he said, yeah, that's a really important thing for the future. And we were both sitting there with our smartphones on the table between us. And I said, the future is now. You use, AI on a daily basis. So a lot of my job is helping bridge that gap between technologists, such as those of you on this call, and companies, and then regional or political influencers who can help create better support for those systems. And it's very much like when you look at economic development, if you think back historically of what we know as moments of transition in economic development, it goes from kind of, rural electric was the first thing that we're all familiar with that really changed the economy of the US in particular. Then there was in the 50s, the interstate highway system. And really now, just as important is this technology infrastructure and making those capabilities accessible to companies so that they can grow and really be competitive in those global markets. And it has a lot to do with kind of that commodity or low-cost manufacturing. And actually, the U.S. became a manufacturing location because of the fact that we were a lot of craftsmen and people who are really good at doing things in a very high level of excellence. And then kind of the globalization of manufacturing made, the production commodity-driven. But we're really getting back now to where efficiency is what's driving low cost, rather than some of those commodity-focused cost perspectives. So one of the things we're really proud about in our engagement here is the Labs Across America concept, where I sometimes call it the North, South, East, and West, looking at the US and looking at specifically a network of labs that would be focused on really the applied elements of 5G. Where are the practical utilizations of it? And so the North, South, East, and West being Indiana, Texas, I understand Hawaii to the west, and Puerto Rico to the east, all of which have really strong network, logistics, and manufacturing legacy histories. And so, we're very proud to be part of that collective network.